Hi there, this is my analysis series of the video Crystalline Samhain 1111 Stargate, November 11th, 2019. So the next part of the text reads, yet merging with this, so they're talking about the lunar seeds moving into the DNA filament codings, into the 144,000 patterning, opening up through these feminine matrices into the full flower of life growth patterns, creating this portal and a full manifestation of the Samhain Gateway on the 7th of November, all explained in part 4. So yet merging with this, so merging with all of that through understanding of the mathematical and geometric twin flame unity fields, is the 1111 patterning through recognition of that Gregorian calendrical date. So merging with this Samhain gateway, so seeds planted on the 31st of October, Samhain, Halloween, into this full manifestation of that energy on the 7th of November, merging with this in the same portal. And I've explained how the portal's created through the collective consciousness of the awakened and aware individuals, the magical individuals, the Wiccans, the shamans, the indigenous peoples, tribal peoples, anyone working with the higher energies called dream weavers collectively, and how they are star seeds, and the collective consciousness is that which creates, as well as that which is seeded from the stars. It creates the stars, it creates the cosmos, it creates the fabric of reality. The fabric of our dimension is created. Gravity, dark matter, dark energy, celestial bodies, all created by this collective consciousness of these individuals, these magical individuals. With this Samhain gateway, Halloween, Samhain, full manifestation on the 7th of November, moving into the 1111 on the 11th of November, the understanding of that and the creation of that portal, as I said in earlier parts of the analysis, with the consciousness of humanity, understanding the mathematical and geometric twin flame unity fields. So they understand the 1111, they understand the 1-1, the law of one, they understand the metaphor of the 1111 on a mathematical level and on a geometric level. They understand the numerology, they understand the number 1, the putting of 1 and 1 together to make 2, the 11 and the 11 standing together, and the importance of that on a symbology, on a symbolical level, and on a mathematical and geometric level. Even if they don't fully understand what all that means, they may be living within the 1111, as I've spoken about earlier in this analysis, working with the magic and the synchronicity within their personal, individual, meaningful subjective experience of the 1111, the master numbers. And that is the twin flame unity fields. The twin flame unity fields being the higher manifestation of duality. The twin flame, that is the double helix going quantum, the 2, dualism, but above dualism into paradoxical, or into bilocational consciousness, embracing of the 2, the exponential expansion from 1 to 2. So how that would look in a perspective would be, I am me, I am 1, I am individual, I am a person. And you must anchor that. You must anchor that individual perspective. I am me, I am 1. And then you understand the creation from that. So the next perspective would be, I am 2. I am I, and I am we. Or I am negative, I am positive, I am male, I am female. You embrace the dualistic aspect of yourself. You move into the divine marriage within. You move into twin flame energy, twin flame unity fields. If you want to go into the true perspective of what that is. It goes outside of the identity of the incarnated individual into source itself. So you have source as a oneness. So that perspective would be, I am all and everything, and I am all that exists, for I am source. And then a question is asked, as in, am I conscious? I don't know. I am pure consciousness, but am I pure consciousness? How do I know that I'm pure consciousness? How do I know I even exist? How do I know I'm alive? How do I know I have life? This is the pulse of energy, the interpretation of those questions. And that pulse of energy can be interpreted in many different ways through many different spiritual teachers. But the way the nine have shown me the perspective of source through my own memory system of being that, as you will have as a starseed, it's very much, am I conscious? Am I alive? How do I know that? So when one asks the question, a response comes, an answer comes to the question. One asks a question, source gives out a pulse that is wanting a response, and individualize. It splits. It's the splitting of the cell to create two. So creation starts with one and then splits into two. Like when a conception takes place of life, you have one cell and then it divides. It's the nine call this the cosmic zygote, the splitting of the cell. So you have source, presentation, I am conscious, splitting, and you have the reaction, the equal and opposite reaction to the pulse, which is the response to the question. Am I conscious? I don't know, am I? So we have I am I? That's what it will become. I am is a statement. I am, the pulse, the pulse. Am I? Am I? The question, the response. And then the division from then on is the discovery of the question. That's the twin flame. So the first is the eternal flame. The source is the flame of oneness, the law of one flame. And that cosmic zygote, or zygote, that splitting of the cell, is the twin flame. So you have the eternal flame and the twin flame, which is the same as the DNA. You have the one, which is pre-creation, which is memory field in antimatter reality becoming matter into the two, the double helix. The double helix is the life. The double helix is the human life. So the one is prior to human life. The one is the pattern. The one is the template, creating what life will be. And then one comes into the double helix. So that's the twin flame. The twin flame unity fields are the fields of consciousness within this twin flame. So you have I am I? I am I? It's a wave. Instead of a pulse, I am, just an emanation, an emanation, an emanation. It's an emanation and a receiving and an emanation back again. So you have the figure of 8. You have an eternal spiral. Instead of an eternal pulse, it's just a different geometric pattern within that creation, the twin flame unity fields. So merging with this through understanding of the mathematical and geometric twin flame unity fields, and then they say is the 1111 patterning. Is, as in it was because it's in the past. It's your memory, as in being source is your memory, therefore it's in the past. Is because it's now. There is no linear time within the higher reality, therefore you are source now. Therefore the oneness, the 1111 twin flame unity fields are now. The 1111 patterning. So merging with this through the understanding of the mathematical and geometric twin flame unity fields is the 1111 patterning. That 1111 patterning is the geometric frequency of the twin flame unity fields, and that is what is recognized by these dream weavers, these starseeds, when they move into the acknowledgement. And it can be something very simple, as in 1111. 1111 means I'm going to meet my twin flame, or 1111 means I'm with my twin flame, or it might mean I'm going through the divine merge within, or it might mean 1111 is just nice. It's a nice number. It means I'm going to give someone I love a kiss. It could be so, so, so simple. It's all part of that fractal twin flame unity field. You don't have to fully understand the 1111 in this deep quantum fractal way. It's good if you do, and that's what this transmission is about, to give you the patterns and the seeds to understand the 1111 and work with the magic of that master number, the law of one, ultimate oneness, into the twin flame unity fields. That's what this transmission was for, to give you those seeds at the time of the 1111. So the 1111 patterning. So this understanding, the merging with this Samhain portal through understanding of the 1111 patterning, and that understanding comes through recognition of that Gregorian calendrical date. And this is where there's been a lot of confusion. As I've said before, I have people write to me, oh, why do you talk about the 31st of October or the 21st of December or the 1111? Because that's our Gregorian calendar and it's not the right counting system and it's all out of sync and it's meaningless. This is not about the Gregorian calendar. The date is simply the date. The Gregorian calendar gives you the 11th of November every year. That's it. That's the only participation the Gregorian calendar has. However, one recognizes what the date means through numerology, through mathematics, through geometry, through higher consciousness, through merging with the twin flame unity fields, through the connection with the divine princess Aurora and the divine queen Sophia and all of the other cosmic deities, in whichever way you want to put it, and the awakening of the DNA fields, the 144 warriors of light, all of the Camelot, Excalibur imagery, the solar rays, the rainbow waves, the event, all of these things are recognized through the dates because we experience the linear reality through our counting system, which is the Gregorian calendar. That's the only way it's relative. The true counting system, or the most accurate counting system, is the Mayan calendar. But if you look at the Mayan calendar, you will find that there's synchronization with these times, but it will be done through, it will be seen through astrology, through cosmic alignments, through astrological alignments, lunar alignments, solar movement, and things that occur within the solar, cosmic, galactic reality. So the Gregorian calendar is only there as a recognition of the date, the 11th of November. Oh, it's the 1111. So anyone connected to that magic, to that wisdom, to that frequency. I once had somebody say to me, for someone who talks about oneness, and she wasn't just meaning me, she was meaning several people in the New Age movement, for people who are always talking about unity and moving beyond linear time, you sure are obsessed with dates. And I understand where she's coming from, because if you're looking from the outside in, or from that perspective, it's like, well, you talk about oneness and unity, but you're going on about dates. Someone who is perhaps in a fourth dimensional field, definitely not third, or they wouldn't be acknowledging it at all. Someone in a fourth dimensional field would be seeing these as separate things. So unity and the linear date are completely unrelated. Why would you even connect to a linear date when you have unity? That's the perspective. When you go into fifth, sixth, higher dimensional perspectives, you are merging with all dimensions. You're anchoring yourself into the linear reality, the third dimension, and you are living within the tools of the third dimension to use them as springboards into the higher dimensions, as anchors from the higher dimensions into the third dimension. You are multi-dimensional. Therefore, absolutely, you'd look at dates. You'd look at dates, times, days, anything that would give you a synchronistic code, without becoming obsessed. It's not an obsession. Someone obsessed with the 1111 or other dates would be going into paranoia, and that again is separation, and is this sort of, oh, it's the 1111, that's freaking out, totally ungrounded. Normal stage to go through. As long as you don't stay there, you come back to balance, and it becomes normal. It's ordinary, it's normal. To someone else, you might be talking like a complete and utter freak, and you are just utterly bananas and completely crazy. And a lot of people I know would listen to my videos and think, oh my goodness, she's completely lost the plot. And so I don't talk like this in front of them, and I'm sure you all have the same thing going on with you. So this isn't about losing the plot or going crazy. This is about true balance, because people who think that in the third dimension and in the fourth only are anchored within one dimension or two. You know, they only have the access to that dimension and what it means. This is about a multidimensional awakening. One cannot go into this 12-strand DNA configuration and embrace the 144,000 warriors of light and take your place within that if one does not move into multidimensionality, which is a multiple perspective. And it isn't just the mind, it's the body. It is a multiple empathy and a multiple telepathy. So what that means is you hold many perspectives simultaneously, but you can also choose to hold just one. You can hold a third dimensional perspective on its own. You can hold a fourth dimensional perspective on its own, or a fifth dimensional perspective on its own, or a sixth dimensional perspective, or seventh, and so on its own. Difficult once you get to seventh, because everything becomes one. But you know, from 3, 4, 5 and 6 up to 7 in your perspective, you can kind of hold that perspective without merging with the other dimensions, although it's not necessary to do that. If you're somebody who likes to exercise the brain and go into deep fractal metaphysics, then you're somebody who would probably want to do that. And it's fun to actually think that way. But ultimately, the goal here is to choose which dimensional perspective you hold, and to be able to choose to hold them all at the same time. You hold a multi-dimensional perspective. Now, when you do that, you then move into multi-dimensional empathy. You feel many things at once. You feel many dimensions at once, because you are existing within all those dimensions simultaneously. You feel the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh dimensions within you all at the same time. And the telepathy is the communication. You communicate with those dimensions and the beings and intelligences and deity manifestations, ascended masters, etc., geometric living structures. You communicate with them multidimensionally. So when you're talking about divine Princess Aurora, you can see that in a fifth dimensional sense, she's a princess. Beautiful princess walking around in long robes and a crown upon her head, or a crown of flowers, or however you want to see her. She's a goddess. In the fourth dimension, she would be more like a dreamlike waif of light energy. She might manifest in all sorts of different ways. You know, she could be a character from Alice in Wonderland, let's say, or another film that you've seen. In the third dimension, she would be the consciousness and the perspective of human people. And in a third dimensional linear sense, it would be the consciousness of one person. Then when you go to the sixth dimension, she's a geometric pattern. So you could take, for example, most of the well-known ones would be Metatron. So Metatron in the fifth dimension is a being, an ascended master, a being. You can see him and see his face, and he looks like a human being, but with a glowing aura and a beautiful violet ray around him, or however you may see Metatron. But in the sixth dimension, one would look at Metatron's cube. That's the presentation or configuration of that frequency. So you can communicate with all of these simultaneously at the same time, or choose to communicate with them separately and individually. So that is what this is, a multi-dimensional reality that we're going into. Not just 3, 4, and 5, but multiple dimensions simultaneously. So you do this through perspective, through empathy and telepathy, communication, feeling, and the way you see things, your perspective. So that's the end of this video. I'll stop that there. And I will be back with more. I will continue to move through this analysis until we've got to the end of this transmission. So I've got quite a way to go yet. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you again soon. Bye.
In this transmission from the White-Winged Collective Consciousness of Nine, I, Magenta Pixie, bring forward information specific to utilising the rose gold flame as antidote to 5G, EMFs, chemicals, chemtrails, and similar. The presented template utilises the Schumann resonance, and the technique is alchemical unification. In this book, the Nine discuss synchronicity, discernment skills, and understanding of discordance and disharmony within truth and lightworker communities. They present a workable model of expression, assisting the spiritual explorer in creating a necessary toolkit. This allows the individual to construct a shield, bringing safety, harmony, expansion, and cohesive sovereignty into their own personal reality and their matrix field. I am pleased to present my new short book, The Black Box Program and the Rose Gold Flame as Antidote.